You had mentioned the NFL players and some taking a knee, and you would like to hear some of the stories of people who you should pardon. And you mentioned professional athletes. Have you heard from any of them?
No, I haven't heard. You know, they were all saying, oh, it has nothing to do with the flag. It's the way we've been treated. In the meantime, they're making $15 million a year. Look, I'm all for the athletes. I think it's great. I love athletics. I love sports, but they shouldn't get the politics involved. When you're in a stadium and they broadcast that national, you got to stand and you got to be proud and you got to have your hand up and you got to do everything that's right, and then go out and play really tough football. And once you leave that stadium, go and do whatever you want to do. Run for office, do whatever. But I did say, I have this tremendous power of pardon. And Kim Kardashian came in, and the woman 22 years in jail.
People can't believe that you would be listening to Kim Kardashian.
Oh, I did. I don't know her, and I met her, and she was really nice, I have to say, and very capable. But she came in, and she said, this is a very unfair situation. I looked at it, I agree. She's in there for 22 years. She's got another 20 years to serve. And you have drug dealers that are doing big stuff, and they get a 2-month sentence. Okay, it was just unfair. And I thought it was a beautiful scene when that woman left prison and ran over to, it looked like her grandkids. It was a couple of big, strong guys, some wonderful women. They're all hugging, kissing, everyone's crying. To me, that was a beautiful scene. Well, she thanked me, but thank Kim, because I wouldn't have known about it. And I told the NFL players, I mean, indirectly, I said, you have somebody that's aggrieved, because they're saying people are aggrieved. Okay, let me know about it. I'll look at it. If they're aggrieved, I will pardon them. I'll get them out.
I'm shocked you haven't heard from
I don't think I've heard from one. Now, maybe they've called the staff, but I have not personally heard from one.
Speaking of the staff,
because I don't know if it's a real issue. I don't think it's a real issue.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders, your press secretary, she took a lot of heat yesterday from the people behind you.
Like she did? I didn't know that.
Well, she did. There was some suggestion that maybe she'd be leaving the White House.
I don't think so. And look, at a certain point, everyone sort of leaves. You have to leave. I'm sort of just staying. I'm like a ship, just keep going, being. But Sarah loves this job, and she's announced, not with me. I read that same report. Somebody put it out. I think it was CBS, when she said it's a false report, but it's fake news. But at some point, I'm sure she'll leave, like everybody leaves, and we'll get somebody else. But Sarah's done a fantastic job. No, I don't think she's leaving.
What do you make of the...
In fact, she was very insulted that they came out and said that, so I don't think she's leaving.
What do you make of the back and forth between her and the press? Because sometimes it gets
well, I think the press.
Loud.
I think the press treats Sarah very unfairly. That White House correspondent.
But I think some of them feel she's not answering their questions, so they're going to ask it again and ask it.
Well, I gave a press conference in Singapore. That was like an hour and a half, and that was like the biggest press group I've ever seen. And I answered every single question. I'd answer anybody's question. I guess that's not supposed to be my job. I'm here with you today. You're giving me a lot of
thank you very much.
A lot of interesting questions. But Steve, I think Sarah is really a good person and a nice person, very capable. She's got a lot of the father's genes, because that father is great.
Mike Huckabee.
Don't forget, he got up there in that debate stage and he said nobody's going to beat Trump. And I even decided to wear, he was running, and I even decided to wear a Trump tie. And I said, I love that guy. I loved him, okay? Yeah. Mike is a very talented guy, and Sarah's a very talented person, but they treat her very badly. What they did to Sarah at the White House Correspondents' Center, now the only difference I would have done, I would have walked out. I thought she should have walked out instead of sitting there. But
she took the high road.
She took a very high road. Sometimes you don't take such a high road.
We had Stuart Varney on our air earlier.
By the way, he is great. I love Stuart.
That little part, he's going to be running every day now.
And he's right. He knows what he's talking about.
Well, he suggested that the next quarter GDP could be 4%.
Well, they're predicting, the Atlanta Fed predicted 4.8%. I think, it's a lot. Don't forget, when I got elected, I took this thing over. It was 1.2. And each point is $3 trillion and 10 million jobs. A point, people will sit home, oh, it's a point. What difference does it make? Well, it was 1.2. And it was going down. You probably saw this morning I put out, they would have raised your taxes instead of cut your taxes, and they were going to put on more regulations. The last thing we need is regulations. I actually think my regulation cutting had more of an impact on the economy than the tax cuts.
When you were running, you said for every regulation we enact, I will cut 2.
Right.
But you didn't cut 2.
That's right.
You're cutting a much bigger number.
22, it turned out. 22. And by the way, you need regulation. I want the cleanest water in the world. I want the cleanest air in the world. I want that air to be so perfect. And our air now is better than it was 2 years ago with all of the talk and all of the nonsense. Clean, crystal clean water, clean air. But I also want our companies to be competitive so they can go around the world and compete. And we were shutting down companies over the environment, and they weren't doing anything wrong. And that's jobs.
Right, but